What's good? What's good? I am back. Yours truly, the one and only Paul Pickett, host of the Paul Pickett Podcast, aka Triple P, aka the Common Sense Podcast, your source for music, sports, politics, world events, and much, much more. We about to have a guest interview. We're going to do a Vietnam to Winston Salem Connect. We're going to bring in rapper King Bishop, and here we go. All right, let's bring him in. Hold up, let's get the split screen going. There we go. How you doing, man?
What's going on? What's going on?
What's good? What's good?
Not much, man. I'm cool, man. I'm cool. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you for coming on. I like to do my interviews a little different. One thing I notice about most rappers is we all have names before the name. Like, did you have a name before King Bishop? And I want to start with that.
Uh, Shoot, man. I had plenty of names before King Bishop. Cause I started rapping um when I was like maybe I want to say 13,
Okay.
and that's when I started like actually like putting pencil to paper, pen to paper. I had my rhyme book, the whole nine. Um, and my name then was Freeze, Freeze, Freeze. I thought that was like a cool little thing back then. Back then I was, playing a lot of video games and stuff. So, I had, playing Mortal Kombat and stuff like that. Sub Zero. I thought Freeze was
Okay.
been dope. A dope title. And I changed it to King at first,
To
and
just
then
King?
yeah, I wanted it to be King. When I started putting out music, I wanted it to be King. But before I put out like any musical content, that's when I actually decided to just add the Bishop on, so it'd be King Bishop. But um now actually I dropped the King off, and now it's just Bishop, and that's where I'm staying at.
Okay, so you're just Bishop now.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Was any specific artists that got you into rapping?
Man, yes. A few of them. A lot of people don't know, but I mean, and it might be crazy to say, but being a '90s baby, watching Lil Bow Wow on the screen was like, a big influence for me because he
Yeah.
was young. I was young, and if I'm like, if he can do it, I can do it too. As I got older, I started being influenced by, the Wu-Tang Clans, the Method Mans, the DMXs. DMX, Eminem, just that's where I really got my foundation from, was like back then, like DMX, Onyx, Method Man, back when like hip hop and rock and roll kind of collided, you
Okay.
know, that's where I guess I was birthed from, was from that era. So those are my main influences. But I guess the biggest one that made me start rapping would probably have to be DMX, because
DMX.
he was rapping with aggression, and he got his feelings off. I had a hard time expressing myself back then, so rap, he made it cool to express yourself in rap, and that's what I wanted to do.
He definitely had two of the best uh like first two albums too. I think he was the first cat that dropped like two albums in the first year when he came out. That's how big his impact was.
Oh yeah.
Now you were saying something that is kind of crazy to like say Lil Bow Wow was an inspiration, but at that time, I mean, I don't really think that was that crazy. Like you said, he was the only young cat that was really, really super popping. I mean, you had younger cats, but they didn't have that mainstream appeal like a Little Bow Wow.
Right, exactly. They wasn't on that level. They wasn't at that level that he was on. I mean, Bow Wow was working close with Snoop Dogg, which was one of the biggest artists out at the time.
And Jermaine Dupri was his
And
producer,
exactly,
you know,
exactly.
and so he definitely was close to us because we've always clinged on to the Atlanta. Let's get into Winston Salem.
Okay.
You born and raised from there?
Yeah, born and raised right here in Winston Salem, North Carolina.
I was checking it out. Looks like a nice city, man.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they doing a lot of downtown stuff. They
I noticed that. What's the music scene like out there?
I mean, the music scene is kind of like more trap music out here. I think personally, me myself, I might be the only one that like I don't know about many female rappers. I know of two of them that's making pretty big impacts, but as far as male rappers, I feel like I'm the only one that's kind of deterred from that. And
Mhm.
but the most of the scene, the popular scene out here is, I would have to say, like trap music.
Okay, and y'all heavy on the tobacco scene out there, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. You got R.J. Reynolds, over here. So
Okay, I was looking that up, and what is it about like a quarter of a million people in that city?
yeah, shoot, it might be a little less, but yeah, it's pretty packed here in Winston.
Now, is there a lot of artists out there like really grinding and trying to get it in?
Not there's most of the people here in Winston. I'll be honest, people have a hard time with that formula. You know what I mean? Like actually, what you should be doing with your music. It's a lot of talented cats out here.
Yeah,
It's a lot of them, but I would say a lot of people don't take the time. I feel like they feel as if they can put music out and that'll just be it. Because honestly, that's how I was. That's how I
yeah,
started. I
we
just
all were.
Yeah, so you just put music out, but at some point in time, I feel like you have to get off of that and try to do it the right way.
Yeah,
And you can tell the people who've done it the right way, they've taken off. Honestly, it's been a lot of heavy hitters out of Winston Salem. So and it's some more people that's taken off once they realize that there's more to this music than what's around here. You know,
sounds like Fayetteville. Everybody's caught up in trying to be the king of the city, but the city's not even a big market.
right, right, and
I,
that's what I'm saying.
I mean, because Charlotte is our biggest city, and technically, that's not even a big music market.
Right,
So, what do
right.
you think's holding North Carolina back as a whole?
I feel like we are holding each other back. To be honest, man. I know it's some cats out here who know the game frontwards and backwards. They do, but it's not a lot of. And I'm not saying you need handouts. I'm not saying anybody needs handouts, but people do need help and organizing they stuff, organizing their profiles, organizing their music, what to do. Man, you wouldn't understand. Like when I first started this, all of this like mixing and mastering stuff, even down to mixing and mastering, I didn't know what it was. I thought mixing was just the end of recording. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
So, and it's not. It's way deeper than that top surface that people think it is. And I feel like that's what's holding us back in North Carolina. And if you know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody, yeah, okay, cool. But what if you don't? You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? What if you wasn't one of the popular kids? What if you don't have that, but you got crazy talent? That's a lot of the stuff that's happening around here. Is you
So,
got crazy talent and they're not really they don't know what to do. They don't have anybody to say, hey, you need to do this next, or you need to do that next. You ain't even done this. There's cats out here who rap crazy, but you don't even know what they look like. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
I know you saying organization. So, you think we need to get organized like Atlanta?
If listen, if anybody could get organized like Atlanta, then they could be the next
I
Atlanta
mean,
as far
Houston
as
did it
music
for a little
goes.
while. Houston did
Yeah,
it for a little while.
yeah.
We
But
just haven't seen North Carolina do it, at any point, really.
exactly, and that's the
We,
thing, man. People gotta stop. People gotta stop, doing people dirty, and people got to stop doing people grimy and stuff and just start doing like straight up business, because it's a lot of people that want to do business. I'm one of them people. I want to do business. I want, get connections. I want to meet people and stuff like that. But you have to, when you do that, you got to come correct. And if you're not coming correct as far as what you're doing with your music, how you presenting it, how you packaging it, if you're not doing that, or if you don't have nobody to walk you through those steps, or if you don't even take the time to try to learn it. And that's a lot of the problem. People don't take the time to learn it. People don't want to learn it, so they just think everybody think they know, they got it figured out. Oh, I know what to do. I'll just, I know how to get my music on Apple Music. You don't know, so many people say, man, I know how to get my music on Apple Music too. it's not that simple. It's not that simple. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's like 100,000 songs being uploaded every single day now, and just uploading music is not enough. That's the thing. There's the making music part, like you said, and there's the breaking music part, what they don't really know nothing about, and that does require some organization, some kind of support system, that we really don't have. Whatnot. I'm actually surprised that you were talking about you're like from a 90s hip hop baby because your music video was kind of gangster.
Yeah, yeah. I keep it.
I'm a little confused now.
Well, like I feel like there's like gangster rap. Like me, I come from that background. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I love
Uh,
gangster rap. Ain't nothing wrong with gangster
yeah.
rap.
So I come from that background. I come from that era or whatever. So, and Winston Salem is not. I'll be honest, it's not the safest place to
It's now
live.
peaches and cream.
It's
Yeah,
not. You know what I'm saying?
Fayetteville's the
So,
same way. It's
oh,
it's
I know about Vietnam.
yeah,
That's why they call
Vietnam.
it
Yeah,
Vietnam. I know about it. So I feel like so I come from that, but it's I feel like it's the aggression more than anything that I
I
bring.
get what you're saying. I get where you're going. I'm the same way. I'm not a gangster cat, but you like to be aggressive with your music. Just make it a lot harder, tougher. It ain't got to be about shoot 'em up, bang bang. It's just
Exactly.
about, just standing your ground, holding your place, man.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I'm saying. Like I'm not the tough like I've said this in a song before that I released years and years ago, but like I'm not the toughest cat out. I'm not the toughest cat out here, but at the end of the day I'm a man, and at the end of the day I know how to hold my own. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So that's going to come across in my music because music is emotion. It's your mind. It's where you are. You know what I'm saying? And even in your life, I mean, even when some cats get famous and they start living in these $1 million homes and stuff like that, they still bring it back to what they came from, which a lot of people I guess can agree with that. People like, I like that. I like when you bring it back. I don't like, sometimes me myself, I don't like to hear about all the money and stuff like that. Because for one, that's not how I'm living. So,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, there's gonna be aggression there and stuff like that. But I'm not, it don't gotta be about, shooting people. I'm not shooting people in my bars and
Yeah.
what I'm saying, stuff like that, and people gotta, differentiate from what sounds cool and what's real life as well.
And that's a problem with hip hop. Only hip hop has, right? It's the only music that gets taken literally. Like, you don't listen to a rock guy and anything he says, you automatically assume that that's his lifestyle or he's done that. But with hip hop, we've always, we got this thing where, it's about keeping it real. And like, who really gets to dictate what's real? I've always like, you know, to me, that's like a confusion. Like, cause real just keeps get moved and moved and moved and moved
Right.
and whatnot.
Yeah.
Um, are you with a label or a management group?
Yeah. The label is Double Life Entertainment. My manager, Rob. Um, that's my
That's
manager.
the one that hit me up. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, man. He's been great with this. Since I've started working with him. We recently started working together like late last year.
Okay.
So I was with another label before I met him, and out of Philadelphia. But it didn't really work out for me there. I wasn't feeling it pretty much.
Did they
Um,
have management attached to you?
the other label,
Yeah.
not really. No, it didn't get to that point yet. They were kind of like doing their own thing. Um, just a group of people who knew music.
Yeah.
And they was trying to still build up and do their thing and stuff like that. And from the outside looking in, it looked cool. It looked like I wanted to be, something you want to be a
Yeah.
part of. But when I got in there, it just wasn't. I haven't had those problems, here as of late. So yeah, but that's the management, that's the label that I'm rocking with.
You think like raps become like almost like the army? Like, everybody's trying to do it because it's easy to do. You can't, you get what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
too many people trying to do it.
Yeah, I do. Honestly, and that's just, being real. It's a lot of people that's trying to, rap. And I feel like that's where rap has gotten, off a little bit
Yeah.
for me, in my opinion, because everybody's trying to do it. Somebody got to make it, and sometimes those somebodies, they're not good. You know what I mean? So, and then that's where you get these one hit wonders from and stuff like that. But I feel like everybody's trying to rap, and it's kind of, you know, fluffing the game up a little bit. Like it's cool, but then again, it's getting kind of crowded.
Well, it's definitely crowded. I mean, because we were talking about a cat like NBA YoungBoy. He makes a shit ton of music, right? And he's
Right.
right. You got Drake right here in NBA YoungBoy, and then you got like Taylor Swift's and Kanye's. And we would never say NBA YoungBoy is more famous than Taylor Swift or Kanye, but he just puts out so much music, it just increases this oversaturation, you
Right.
know, where everybody's just putting out music just like this. And I hear something like, what are you on, a microphone?
Hold
I hear some
on.
audio in the background.
Yeah, no, I'm not on the microphone. That might just be my phone. Hold on, let me get this phone charger. Let me get this phone charger set up.
Okay.
That's my fault. Can you hear me okay now?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. All right, so we back. What was you saying?
Yeah, but basically, like, these artists are putting out so much music and so fast, like it takes away from the process of really making music. Like if you look at a cat like Kendrick Lamar, he puts out what, 2 3 albums in a decade, but a cat like Drake or even J. Cole, who's from Fayetteville, has to put out a lot more music.
Right. Um. Yeah, I definitely agree with that, and that's what I wanted to be. I didn't want to be one of those guys who put out a whole lot of music, because you want to keep that. I think people get it. What they want to do. People get the engagements. They want to do the engagement thing. Like, I want to engage with my audience, so I'm gonna just keep dropping music and stuff like that, and hit or miss. But I'm gonna keep dropping music. Like J. Cole, for instance. J. Cole could put out a 30 song mixtape right now,
Yeah,
and people are gonna listen to it because, hey, it's J. Cole, and I love J. Cole's music. But then, see, what J. Cole does is when he drops that album, that's what's going that, and it's fire. It's always fire.
yeah.
He knows how to differentiate between what's a mixtape song and what's an album song, and I feel like a lot of people don't know how to do that.
That's a big problem. Like cats making too many album cuts, calling them singles
Right,
and
right,
whatnot when they're not singles. And one thing I notice is your homeboys are like always the worst people to kind of like review your music,
yeah,
because they're always gonna be biased. They're always, yo, it's a hit, it's a hit, and only people like broke hits or work records really know hits when they hear them.
right.
Do you think like maybe some of these cats have to make so much music because they understand that 10 years from now ain't nobody gonna be really checking for NBA YoungBoy or
Yeah, I mean,
Little Pump or these other cats?
yeah, I can see that too. I mean, I definitely think that's the reason. I think that's the reason why people put out so much music too, because people, as long as your name's out there, I feel like people think that they're good when they're
They're
when
good to
as
go.
long as
Yeah.
my, because look at the baby, man, the baby dropped so much music, like,
He's starting to fizzle though.
exactly, and that's what. But he's still like trying to drop it, but I think that was his problem. Like, I need to drop so much music. I need to drop so much music, and it's like, no, man. Sometimes you do have to. You'll have more longevity if you sit out for a little while, get some of this real life experience out here, get back to what what you do, chilling, going out, doing your thing. That's gonna create And I know the game is to be sold and not told. And this is a little piece of the game for me, in my opinion. Once you do that kind of stuff and then you come back to your craft is never gonna wither away when you do that, because
Yeah.
you went out into the world, you got away from everything, and you went out and you had your experiences out here, traveled, whatever you do with your money, and then you come back to that studio and then you write another banger. You don't just because you're gonna run out of content if you just keep back to back to back, and some of your music is gonna sound the same.
Well, I
One of
was
the things,
about to get to that. All his stuff sounds the same, opposed to like NBA YoungBoy. His sounds switch up a little bit. Like the beat isn't
exactly.
the same every time. The tempo ain't the same. But the baby, it's every time it sounds the same. And then he
Hmm.
also took the stance of calling out the gays. And one thing I've noticed in this climate, you can't take any kind of stance,
Right.
political or gender. Like once you take that stance, you've alienated too many of your fans, and it's hard to get them back.
Yes,
You
sir.
know,
That's
really hard
true.
to get them back.
And that's true. And that's what I was gonna say, like, as well, like, to piggyback off what you said, it's hard to get those fans back when you said something to offend people. Like, and which is hip hop is a supposed to be an expression, just like comedy. It's supposed to be expression, supposed to be how you feel and stuff like that. But you don't have to put a whole group of people down. Like, we
Yeah,
know what's going on. It's not like this, and that's not. I can't stand that. Like, we know what's going on out here.
yeah,
It's not like, man, I can say whatever I want to. No, okay. First of all, you can't. You can't say whatever you want to. You can say whatever you feel, but it's like a fence around it. It's like, okay, now you can talk about guns, women, stuff like that, but it's some stuff outside of this fence. If you touch it, it's over for you. Like, it just is. The baby was one of the top. We talk about billboards and stuff like that. The
oh, he
baby
was,
could have
yeah,
been on. He could have been
he
on that
was,
list.
yeah.
Exactly. The baby would have been on that list, but now he's not on that list because once you start popping off at the mouth, it's consequences with everything.
And he was willing to push the envelope, and I think he pushed it a little too much on
A
this
little
last
too
time.
much.
Because I remember in the '90s when we say something like gay ass rappers, we wasn't never referring to rappers that were gay.
Right,
We were just
exactly.
talking about whack rappers and whatnot. And that's another thing. He didn't say it in his rhyme. He's at it on stage, and you don't know how many people in there might be gay,
Right.
and he just like, screw you, gay people, and this, that, and the third, and it's like, whoa, like, okay, like
Yeah,
just make music, man, just make music.
exactly. You don't need to even get on certain topics in music. I feel like nowadays, once a topic is directed at a certain community or even race or anything like that, this is a culture just like anything else. So when another culture talks about another culture, it's never going to be good. And talk bad about another culture, I should say, it's never going to be good. So, you know, that's
So is
I
this the only single you got out right now, the video you sent?
well, this is the only single I have that me and my manager have jointly
Okay.
that we put out. I definitely have other songs. The links are in my bios on all my social medias. But as far as like starting my music going, this would be my first single.
And who you working with on production and stuff?
Production. It's a studio down here. His name's Jay. It's a studio down here. It's called Digital Lab Recording Studio. A lot of heavy hitting North Carolina artists have came through, passed through there. And so my producer Jay, we have a pretty tight relationship. I've been going there. I've actually been going to the studio since I started recording when I was a teenager.
Okay.
So yeah, he's he handles everything and he sees my vision. That's the most important part. Like, he'll put stuff on my record that I want on there without me even having to ask, like, type shit. So that's what I'm working with here for now, is with him. And I would prefer to keep working with him. Like no matter where I go, I would prefer to keep it around home.
And what kind of sound you usually go for?
I have different. I feel like I'm very flexible when it comes to my flows and my sounds. Not every one of my songs is going to sound the same. If anybody's listened to a number of my songs, you could pick 5 random songs of mine to listen to, and they're not going to sound the same. So, but the sound that I usually go for is I do go for the sometimes the hardcore rap. Um, and I've also made songs as far as like on the pop side. So
Okay.
it's pop and rap. And if you kind of like Drake, kind of like how he raps and now he has those dance hall songs. I don't make dance hall music now, but it's I switch up my flow. I switch up how I bring it on the songs and stuff like that.
Okay, I got a question. This is kind of like something we deal with in Fayetteville. People in Fayettille, they're like 50-50 on the love hate with J. Cole, right? Do you
Right.
feel like when a cat gets on, he should always put on somebody from his city or attempt to put on somebody from his city?
That's a good question. Honestly, I mean, in a perfect world, yeah, but honestly, no.
Okay.
And the only reason I say that is because if you if you have to grind, you with your podcast and stuff like that, if you have to grind and you had to get all these connections and all this stuff that you got set up that looks really nice, looks really professional, looks really good. And I'm telling you that now. It looks
Thank you.
everything looks dope, man. But
Appreciate it.
if you had to do that, but let's say I come around, Bishop comes around, and I'm trying to start my own podcast, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, we from the same, man, we from North Carolina. Come on, Paul, man, let's, let me. You got like a two K followers on this, and 2 million followers on this, and I only got 500, man. Let me piggyback off of you real quick, man. No, like I need to hustle and do my own thing.
Yeah.
So it's like Nipsey Hussle said, it's a marathon. Everybody has a race that they need to run themselves. Now, it's up to you if you want to reach back and help somebody else. But honestly, I feel like I have to really, really believe in you. Like I can't just know you
Yeah,
from
that's a
miles
good
away.
one. That's another thing is people always like, why J. Cole ain't put nobody on for favor? And I'm just going down the list and I'm like, which one of you motherfuckers really, really got what it takes right now? Like he's gonna have to
Right,
build y'all up. He's gonna have to put you on tour like everybody else.
right.
And you see where his cats are getting. I mean, I almost think he's like Michael Jordan when it comes to picking talent, man. Like
Yeah, yeah.
I don't really like none of his artists. They don't really, to me, can stand on their own 2 feet. None of them have stood out at this point right now. They're still touring with him. And none of these cats are household names. How
No.
long does somebody got to invest into you before you can stand on your own 2 feet? And I think that's another
Exactly.
problem in hip hop. Like you hear cats like who was it talking about my man from the Lock, Jay Hood, talking about, yo, they owe me like $50,000, $70,000. No way, no how. All the opportunity they gave you, there's no way, no how they owe you, man.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I mean, it's just like, man, you could, and see, that's the issue, and this is why I say no. And I'm glad you brought that up because in almost every rap group there was always somebody who blamed somebody else for their career not going
Not
well.
going right.
Even in Wu Tang, we could take it back to Wu Tang.
You got it.
They was you got he hate RZA because he's almost man RZA was making these beats couldn't nobody rap on. Nah, bro, you gotta maybe it's you, maybe it's not him, maybe it's you. Everybody else doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got even G Unit when back when G Unit was popping.
Oh, that's a great example.
Like, how long does 50 Cent gotta hold your hand through all of this to where
Yeah.
you can make your own album and stand on your own 2 feet and not even need G Unit no more. I want people who want to be around me because they want to, not because they need to be around me. You know what
That's
I'm
a good
saying?
point.
So
That's
yeah,
a real good point.
I feel that, man. So nah, I'm gonna stick with that. I'm gonna stick with you gotta come correct if you gonna come out in this game. If you can't hide behind me, you can't hide behind J. Cole or none of that. Like you said, the Dreamville guys, man, like I haven't heard and I've wanted to. I mean, I think
No,
JID
I do too. I want him to succeed.
exactly. I think JID is the one that's doing like the best,
And
maybe.
Earth Gang was already kind of popping before he signed Earth Gang.
Okay, okay.
They
Yeah,
had a real good following.
okay, cool. And but like and that's why, like, people say, well, J. Cole don't bring nobody else on from Fayetteville. Well, that's why I brought people on. And if they not even charting with their music, why would I bring you on? What? Like, I got people I got to take care of, just like Young Money, Lil Wayne.
Yeah.
You only heard of two of them, Drake and Nicki Minaj, but it's like, what, like eight of them? So,
Tiger, actually, I was underestimating him until he
oh, yeah,
branched
with
off, and
Tiger, too.
Tiger's pretty successful.
Yeah.
All right, rappers getting killed. Is this a hip hop problem or is this like a hood problem?
I feel
Or
as
both?
if,
Or can it be both?
I feel like it could be both. And that's what I was getting ready to say. I feel like people in hip hop, once you start doing good, a lot of people, heads get real big and they feel like they can talk to people or treat people any kind of way, what have you. But I also feel like it's more of a hood problem because I just recently lost a good friend of mine. His rap name was Pieces, his name Shad. And he was really good and he got murdered not too long ago. And it wasn't on no rap shit though. Wasn't on nothing about rap, he didn't have no rap beef with nobody. So it's the people. It just seems like a lot of guys who rap are from the hood, of course, because those
Yeah.
are the best. Honestly, those are the best rappers. Those are sometimes the best rappers are the people who are from that place, what that they rap about. And you can't be because look at Lil Durk. Lil Durk is my best example. You got Lil Durk, you got King Von. Here's the difference: one of them is alive and one of them isn't. One of them is doing what he has to do to I guess not stay out of that lifestyle, but not be too close to that lifestyle. And
Yeah.
one of them just couldn't get
Was
away
right
fast
smack
enough.
dab in the middle of this shit.
Exactly. Like how you going it's
You
these
can hear in
guys
his music too, man. Like when you hear
exactly.
his music compared to Lil Durk's, you could see he wanted to still, be that guy. And Lil Durk was like, "Yeah, I'm trying to after the Chief Keef and all that shit. I'm trying to go over this way." And my man's still trying to be like he's living on O Block. In the O
Exactly.
Block.
Yeah, yeah. And that's it's because that's you gotta get away from if you want to get better, if you want to do better, bro, you gotta get away from what you've been through. And
What's
I
that
hate this
saying? You live in the hood, but the hood don't have to live in you.
exactly. Like you can do that. Everybody can do that.
Yeah,
Like you don't have to stick around that. Especially if
yeah,
you want better. It's these guys, man, who do some dude, man, I can't remember bro name, but he filmed a music video in a cemetery with people who he was talking about that are dead now.
oh man.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, how crazy does it get when somebody can rap about people dying, making fun of them dying, and go to the cemetery where they're buried at and make a music video?
Did
That is
something
crazy.
happen to him after that?
Nah, he's still around.
Okay, he's lucky.
Exactly.
He's
He's
lucky.
he's still around, but I'm like, that's not what I want to do. Anybody could get on with that niche of dissing people and dissing dead people, dead ops, and all this other stuff. But what's the point? The point in rap for me is to elevate, is to do better, is to come from where I came from and go somewhere else way better where I ain't got to worry about none of this stuff going around here. You know what I mean? And I feel like if more people had that mindset, it would be a whole lot better. It would be less deaths and all that kind of stuff. Because you know how mad you got to be pretty mad to kill somebody, man, especially over some music. You know what I
Well,
mean?
most of these cats are getting killed over jewelry. And one thing I noticed is like Benny the Butcher, for example. Like you're in Houston, I think it was Houston. Does Benny the Butcher really got to be Benny the Butcher when he goes to Walmart?
Not really, no.
He can't. Can he be like the government name?
Right? That's
You
what he
know, and
should
that's the
want to
thing. I
be.
think these rappers they feel like, they're like Ric Flair. They have to play the role everywhere they go, but you're not a wrestler. You're a rapper. You're flaunting jewelry. You know people's already targeting you because of social media, and it's easy to target you because of social media now.
Right,
You know, like my
right.
man that got killed at the Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. I got dudes out in LA that said they would never eat at that spot. They would get takeout only. And you there with like $50,000 worth of jewelry. Both
Yeah,
of y'all posted. And even though they try to blame old girl, he posted too, like where I'm going. So like you can't just, blame her. And you really can't blame neither one of them for
no,
I don't think they decided, hey, you know what? Hey, honey, let's go to Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles and let's get robbed for my jewelry today and get shot and killed. That sounds like a great idea.
right, exactly. Like no one's thinking about that. He just wanted to have,
Have time
what
with his girl, have fun with his
exactly,
girl, have
bro.
some chicken and waffles or whatever they ordered, and probably go home and who knows,
Right. That's what I'm
live
saying. But
life.
he would have been he would have still been making music today. You know what I'm saying? And I don't blame either one of them or nothing like that. And I've heard that same thing. Like I mean, bro, they was in the middle. They was where it go down at.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? So and you hear it in the music. Of course, I'm not from California and stuff like
I
that.
thought he was from Philly though. That
Yeah, PNB Rock,
Peanut
PNB
Rock,
Rock was
yeah,
his name, and he was from Philly or whatever. But and it's all a part of that. You don't know where you at.
yeah.
You gotta know where you are. You gotta, stuff like that. It's kind of like that checking in thing. I don't agree with that, but you know,
You said the what? The what? Checking in
like
thing.
how you check in when you go to another city, like rappers check in and stuff.
They always gotta, yeah.
Yeah, like I don't really agree with that. I'm here to turn your city up and make money for y'all, for me, for all this. But you know what I'm saying? There's some cats out
What does
there
that
who,
usually include? Like
yeah,
the whole, what does that intake of the check in? Like that's you going to somewhere and checking in personally?
like okay, yeah. I mean, I don't know if it's personal. I don't know if you're doing it personally. I don't know. I think it might be more of like a call or
Yeah.
something like that.
Okay.
Like, those guys out there, the tough guys, the gang bangers and stuff like that. They be out
Yeah.
there and they like taxing rappers. You know what I'm saying? To come
Oh,
out.
the extortion kings.
Yeah, yeah, and that's what that check in. I feel like that's what that check in is about. Like, yeah, just because I mean, what else do you want for me to just say, hey, insert name here. I'm coming to your city. Is that cool? Like, what? Like, you know what I'm saying?
We're in an era now too where they say like, what is it? Like when they say you can't come to the city. What they say? I forgot what they call that.
I forgot what they call it too, but yeah, I mean, it's a lot of people. Like, it's people out here who will run you out of their city, and stuff like that. But I feel like that kind of stuff. First of all, like that kind of stuff makes a rapper feel like he needs protection, which makes a rapper do some dumb stuff, like get mixed up with the wrong people, and then you end up like 6ix9ine and his whole situation.
Yeah.
So it's just it's crazy. I think us as rappers, people, rappers, big rappers, small rappers, no matter what, you gotta know where you're going, know that location. I'm not even gonna say you have to know people because you don't, but I'm saying you gotta watch yourself. Just be careful wherever you go because it's crazy people everywhere. And all they see when they see a rapper name is a price tag.
What's your take on ghostwriting? Like, do you frown on like artists like having somebody like Jay-Z wrote the Still DRE? I mean, does it make you think any less of Dr. Dre when you hear that record?
Now that don't make me think no less of Dr. Dre because I didn't feel like Dr. Dre was a strong lyricist anyway. Um, and then with the whole NWA group getting most of their songs written by Ice Cube anyway,
Yeah.
I thought, okay, I get that. They're a group, that's their thing. You know what I'm saying? But then you got your Quentin Millers out here and you got your artists don't care, and I
You
feel
said artists don't care. Well, what do you mean artists don't care?
they don't care if now that they have a
Okay,
ghostwriter. They
okay.
don't care. I think it was Cardi B who said, you could easily read on, the albums, you see those names.
The name credits, yeah, the
Yeah, it's
writing
in the
credits.
credits. It's already in the credit. They don't care that you can see it now.
That was Dr. Dre's, all his albums, right? Was Snoop Dogg writing and
Yeah,
Daz and Corrupt and Eminem on the
and
second
Eminem and
one.
all of that. Yep,
Yeah.
and it was, and a
And
lot of
Game,
those.
I think, wrote for him. I mean, there's a
Yeah,
cat from Fayetteville. I can't say no names, but he wrote some, like I heard he wrote about 20 to 40 songs for Dr. Dre. I don't
Sheesh.
know. Dre probably didn't use none of them. You know what I'm saying? Because Dre don't put out no more music, but
Yeah, but still,
it's very common.
yeah, and it
It's very
is.
common.
And I think now it's being brought to light. But the way my stance on it, how I feel about it, is, I mean, once you, I guess everybody need to pick me up here and there, but I take it to, if I can't keep writing for myself, then maybe I don't need to rap no more. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
This is how I look at it, though. If we're making, it depends on what we're working on. We're working on an album cut. I think I need to be writing it myself.
Hmm.
But if we're talking about making a hit record, that ain't something that you do by yourself.
Yes, that's a fact. That's a
You
fact.
always need, I mean, every hit record Jay-Z's ever done, he's had multiple heads in the studio. Even if they ain't producing something, like he'll have Rick Rubin on the couch and he might just throw an input, and that's the thing. Sometimes we just need some input.
Right. Now that's true too. And I feel like if you want a hit song, a hit record, or even a hit album, some of those songs are gonna have other people on it. Some of those songs are gonna have some kind of input.
Yeah.
And no matter how small the input, because people say like, oh yeah, such and such wrote Drake's whole entire song or Cardi B's whole entire song. That's not always the case. They had an input of what,
Yeah.
I have a suggestion for you, and they used it, and now that you used it, you have to give somebody the credit for it. That's all. It's not that people are writing whole 16 bars for people. You know what I'm saying? I feel like people need to get that straight too. People get that misconstrued a lot and think that people are writing whole songs for people, and it's not like that.
Sometimes they just write the hook. And
Exactly.
sometimes the hook, we know that the beat and the hook is typically what makes a song a hit. Sometimes they just write the hook, like Akon, Locked Up, which Styles P didn't even want to do that record. But as a fan, I was not disappointed,
Right.
you
No, I
know.
wasn't either. It was great. Any song people love. I say this: people love songs until they find out that people had help on them.
Yeah,
So don't take away from that. It's still a good song.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's still a great song. It's still great music. I don't like when people steal people. Well, not steal people's lyrics, but I don't like when people recite whole lyrics that someone else has said in another song. Like, I don't like that. But
That seems like that's only acceptable for the R&B artists to do. Like August Asina, aka Jada Pinkett Smith's ex boo. Just had to throw that in there.
yeah. Well, I mean, Drake has done it too.
Or Mac Wilds. I'm a big fan of him.
Yeah,
You
Mac Wild.
familiar
Oh
with
yeah, I
him?
ain't heard nothing
Mac.
from Mac Wild in a minute.
Yeah, I haven't either, but I like how he incorporates a lot of old '90s hip hop and whatnot
Yeah.
into it.
The Weeknd, he does too.
Okay.
And they got that song out now. The Weeknd got that song out. He took a whole that song with him and 21 Savage. He took that whole hook from I think Donnell Jones. He I can't think
Ain't
of it
heard
now.
that name in forever.
Man,
Wow.
yeah, and I'm pretty sure you'll hear Donnell Jones done got paid now because it's a song out with The Weeknd, I think Metro Boomin, and 21 Savage, and the
Oh,
whole
I
hook.
know which one you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, so but it's still a good song. You know what I'm saying? But people like to do that. I think R&B can get away with it because R&B it's just so fluid, man. Like
And
And
they need hip hop at this point, I would think.
exactly. And we take a lot of stuff from early hip hop and put it in today's hip hop, like a lot of the rules. Because I used to battle rap too, and I know a lot of guys and who rap and they go out on the corner, like when Jay-Z used to go freestyle, and Jay-Z freestyle battle with DMX, and all these guys are having a cipher, like the Big Pun, DMX, cannabis ciphers and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Those guys did not condone, you know taking lyrics, biting lyrics, stuff like that. They did not condone it. So we take that from that era of hip hop and we kept it in hip hop.
yeah.
You don't really see too many R&B people battling on the corner. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
no.
So it's not one of those things, like, cuz you can always put your own spin on some R&B stuff and make it sound like your own. You won't even really know whose song it is unless you hear it. That's why a lot of R&B songs from back in the day are samples, I feel like.
Yeah. Why do you think hip hop came up and passed R&B? Being that R&B is a lot older of a genre, I would say.
Because if I can write a song and I can put R&B and rap in it, I've already surpassed R&B, because that's not what they do.
Yeah,
But you can be a rapper and be able to sing as well.
yeah.
But most singers can't rap, if that makes any sense.
Cause R&B hip hop for a long time now, I would say a good few decades has been like brothers and sisters and genres,
Yeah, yeah,
and then hip hop just like it's all about hip hop, pop, and EDM right now, and then everything else is below.
yeah. And
Like hip
I
hop is still ain't. We don't even know how big hip hop. To me, hip hop is like the NBA right now. We still don't know how far it can go. I mean, because they love hip hop overseas. I did an interview with Bomb Shelters, the cats that mentor J. Cole, and they were talking about how big hip hop was in Germany in like 1985.
yeah,
Which makes sense of why Germany's the second biggest market to this day, because they already was up on hip hop from day one, like we were. Probably just as big, if not bigger, right now. When you talk about the underground sound and the '90s sound, they get way more love overseas than they do here in the U.S. market.
yeah. That's true. And a lot of knowing, what you're doing in this music and stuff like that, that's what you want to appeal to, especially starting off as a new artist. You want to appeal to out of the country, because a lot
Yeah.
of people out of the country love, that the rap culture, like you just said. They love the rap culture. Nigeria loves rap. They
Oh
love hip
yeah,
hop.
they love it.
Like you said, Germany, London got their own hip hop. You know what I mean? The
Yeah.
UK. So yeah, you gotta, if you can spread your voice out of the country, I feel like you can make a big impact in the game. Because that's where a lot of people get their music from. Well, that's where a lot of people listen to hip hop at, is out of the United States, more out of the United States, I think, than in the United States.
Yeah. Because we're so everything in here is like, that's the thing. In the '90s, the mainstream hip hop was more variety. You had your MC Hammers and your Vanilla Ices, but you still had your what's my channel live? All I do is spark madisms. You had all these other records on radio as well with the commercial stuff. Now it's just all commercial.
Right, exactly, man. And I feel like that's what I want. I can make a commercial song and stuff like that, but I want to, even if I have to stay as an independent artist, I want to get my messages across. You know what I mean? And I feel like I can. I feel like I have the right formula to do it, because I don't, like I said, I don't just rap. I don't just stick to rapping or whatever. I want to touch everybody pretty much. I want to be on everyone's playlist, no matter what you listen to. From hip hop to hardcore rap to R&B to whatever. You know what I'm saying? I want you to feel where I'm coming from, no matter what genre you listen to.
Okay. We got about 10 minutes left. I got a couple more questions I want to ask. This is a question. I did an interview with bomb shelters, and they this question just stuck with me. If an alien life form came down to Earth today, and you had to play one song to explain the story of hip hop, what song would that be?
Uh, what's my song?
I can give you a few hints, like of some names that people said if you want.
First of all, it's going. I'm sorry, but I'm putting the fate of the world in Eminem's hands, and
What
I'm
song?
gonna say, what's that song? That sing with it, sing for the year.
I know what you're
Um,
talking about.
you know what I'm talking about? I
I
cannot.
don't know the lyrics on that though.
I'm drawing a blank of what the song is, but he does, like Eminem says so much in that song. Like, music is just a reflection of self. We just explain it, and then we get our checks in the mail. It's fucked up, ain't it? You know that we can come from absolute nothing to coming up and having anything that we want. That's why we sing for these kids who don't have a thing. And you know what I'm saying? Like, he's explaining why hip hop, not what it is, but he's
Yeah,
he's literally explaining why it is. And
yeah,
I feel like that was like the best interpretation of what music is. And it was in a rap song, but
yeah,
he wasn't just talking about rap music, you know. And I feel like people get that messed up. Hip hop is not just rap music. Hip hop is to explain all facets of being a versatile artist. You know, because yeah, you're a rapper. Okay, I don't want to be a rapper. I want to be an artist.
yeah.
You know, and I feel like the closest title to that is hip hop artist.
Yeah, I actually went with Tupac Old School for my choice.
Oh,
What
really?
more can I say? Wouldn't be here today if the old school didn't pave through it. What more can I say? And when I first heard this question, the answer they had was Biggie Smalls, Juicy. It was all a dream. I used to read Word Up magazine, salt and pepper, heavy D up in the limousine. So there's really no wrong answer to it. I got
Oh yeah.
another question since you brought up Eminem.
Okay.
Is Eminem a guest in hip hop?
Man, and if you asking me, Eminem is invited to all the cookouts. He's, you know what I'm saying, he's first in line, man. Hey man, you just bring your plate up here. I hook you up. Eminem is, to me, that's what he is. You got people are mad because he's white. Let's be real. That's why people are mad, because people didn't want him to have the impact that he had on hip hop because he's white and because of the era he came out in. Like,
And
Eminem
some say
was,
the impact he had was because he was white too, though.
yeah. Well, I would say that because, well, let me say
There's a
this.
lot of people that say he was only that big because he was white.
I'm not gonna say that, and the
I'm
only
not
reason
gonna
I won't,
either.
I feel like, yes, it's cool to see someone do it who doesn't look like us. I would definitely say that, but I don't feel like that's the main reason. I feel like because Eminem bombed a lot when he first started. He'll say that. He said that when, he's been
He
in,
battled everybody, dude.
yeah, he been in freestyle battles ever since he was a teen, and he used to lose. Eminem used to get his ass whooped out there battling them people, and for nothing else but because he was white. You know what I'm saying? We didn't accept him. No, we didn't accept him when because you got to show us something. You got to
Yeah,
show everybody something. You got to show hip hop something. And I feel like a person who can take those odds
yeah,
and still do what he's done,
yeah.
man, yeah.
I
So
think he was able to take the white poverty story and put that out there, which wasn't a
mhm.
lot going on. I mean, you had your Everlasts, your Milk Bones, and third bases and whatnot, but they still didn't have the impact he had.
Yeah,
Um, Anything you want to get out the way, like any kind of promotions you got coming up, any shows or any new songs, albums, or
definitely, definitely. I am. what I'm working on now is I'm working on an actual mixtape. And this mixtape, it's so crazy that we talked about all these different artists and all these different sounds and stuff like that because my next project is a mixtape of a lot of the artists that I like. I'm taking beats from them and pretty much just making them my own and stuff like that. A lot of it's only gonna be 5 songs. Artists from North Carolina. I got the baby. I got J. Cole. I also got Sleazy World Gold. I got one of his beats. I have a Kendrick Lamar beat, and I have another beat that's J. Cole esque. It's not a J. Cole beat, but it teeters that line of J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar type
Yeah.
music, and it's gonna be called Tales from the Porch 2, which is a sequel from my first project, my first EP that I dropped, which was called Tales from the Porch, which is available everywhere. Link in my bio
You
and
said
stuff like
Tales
that.
from the what? For what?
Tales from the Porch.
Oh, the porch. Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of like I wanted to do something like Tales from the Hood, but
Okay.
we all started on that porch. You know what I'm saying? We all didn't start out in the hood. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So we all started. That's where we all started at. So you know, that's why I can't. That's why I chose to do that. And this one is just going to be a part 2 since I want to keep it like that. And I'm actually thinking about just keeping it, keeping this thing going with Tales from the Porch, because everybody loves stories and everybody loves storytellers, and that's what these projects is about, is a story, and it's my story. No matter what other music I drop that might, go to another, demographic or a culture. These, when I come back, these songs are gonna be me. They're gonna be all me no matter what. And that's what I'm dropping next. And it should be I want to drop it in April. So I'm
Okay.
dropping in April.
And where's it going to be available?
It's gonna be available. Since it's a mixtape, I'm gonna make it available on YouTube and SoundCloud.
Okay.
That's what we hitting. Also got a video out, the Holla at Me video. That's my single,
Which I'm
Holla
gonna
at Me.
play at the end of this podcast
And I
for them.
appreciate that. Yeah, so with that, I just went with the video. We went for everybody loves Grand Theft Auto, so we went
Yeah,
for Grand
I
Theft
noticed
Auto.
that. Yeah, it had the Grand
Yeah,
Theft Auto thing going on with it.
yeah, I thought that was different. First person in North Carolina to do that. As far as the video game thing, I believe I am. But correct me if I'm wrong, but so I wanted to do something different for my first actual music video, and that's actually my first music video that I've done. Now they're not all gonna be like that, of course, but for my first one, we wanted to come out big and we wanted to come out, making a statement. So that's
Yeah.
that's what we did.
Okay. What's the? I'm gonna ask you. What's the nickname of like Winston Salem? Like you got Fayetteville, Vietnam,
Trefo,
Trefo. That's what y'all
yeah,
call it, the Trefo.
yeah, the Trefo.
Okay. You ain't got no new shows coming up no time soon.
Not anytime soon. I'm gonna start, show running and stuff. More than likely in April in the next
Okay.
upcoming months when I drop my mixtape because I have some more music. I got I got a whole lot of stuff I'm working on. I got a lot of music I'm working on. I'm actually working on the tape and or EP, if you will. I'm working on this EP, and I'm actually working on like a group of singles that I'm gonna just drop. I'm a promo and then I'm gonna drop them, and I'm a promo and then I'm gonna drop them. So, but I don't want to talk about the new project, the singles just yet.
Okay.
But for the time being, it's gonna be this EP, which I feel like is 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 good because it touches on a lot. It touches on a lot of different subject matter. You know, it's got stuff for the turn up in there, but it's also got stuff for you to think and sit down and just think and vibe to and listen to and stuff like that.
Do you think artists should only drop EPs over LPs with the oversaturation nowadays?
I feel like I don't know if it has anything to do with the oversaturation, and it could, but I feel like people need to do EPs and stuff like that because with TikTok and stuff, people have a
Yeah.
hard time sitting and just listening to one thing. So the longer you make it, I feel like the less, unless you like a J. Cole or
It's a
somebody
great
who's
point.
already established, then yeah. But if I'm me being a new guy, I feel like my stuff should be kind of short to the point, and so you can get it, you can like it, and then it'll make you want to come back and
Yeah.
listen to more of my music. So yeah, I do feel like artists should definitely not sleep on dropping EPs.
So the attention spans, you think it's like the music that is making the attention spans lower, or just the attention spans are just getting lower?
I don't think it's the music. I think it's um, social media. Honestly, man.
Nobody
You know,
just wants to consume long content no more.
yeah. I mean, even songs, man. You remember when songs used to be like 5, 6 minutes long?
Yeah, sometimes you'd have the 6, 7 minute songs where there's like a bunch of people rapping, like the Wake Up
Exactly.
Show joint. You
One.
never see those no more.
You remember that song from the game One Blood that had all them rappers on it?
Oh yeah, yeah. You
That
don't
song
never
about
see a bunch of that no more.
you don't, and I feel like social media kind of took over for that because people want to get straight to the point. I can fast forward. I can, what I'm saying, if I can fast forward, get to the meat and potatoes of this, let's do it. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like that in the end, I feel like that hurts. But you have to adapt. You
Yeah.
gotta adapt to if you want to do this is something you want to do, you're gonna have to adapt.
Okay, I got one more question before we go. Do you think it's better for independent artists in the '90s era or nowadays?
Nowadays because you got so many outlets. I think, and this wasn't in the '90s, but okay, so let me rephrase. I do think it's easier now than it was in the '90s, but I think in the '90s, word of mouth was way more.
That was the number one
It
promotion.
was the number one promotion, man, and that was, I guess, easy in its own way. But you had to have faith that you could hand somebody a CD, and they was gonna go home, not lose it, not put it
Yeah,
underneath their drink, or not frisbee your shit,
yeah.
and actually sit down and listen to it. You know what I'm saying? You had to
Or
have that
not throw it in the
confidence.
trash. Some people throw them straight in the trash.
Oh yeah, man. Back then, before all these, streaming and all this stuff, when I was a kid, I used to walk down the street and find CDs. You know what I'm saying? And stuff like that. That people done threw out the window, threw out the car, threw them in the garbage. You know what I'm saying? Because somebody at the mall done handed them a CD, wanting them to listen to it. Um, but now you don't even need to do that. If you want to put out music now, you could reach 10,000 people from the click of a button without
Yeah,
even leaving the house.
yeah,
If I really wanted to, these artists, man, are dropping songs and putting them out as soon as they drop them.
yeah.
Like
No, yeah.
putting them all over everything, putting them on Facebook, and whether you use a machine or not, it's all over Facebook, all over Twitter, all over Instagram, YouTube, everything. It's everywhere. So it's like you can't miss it now.
Well,
You
that's
you
the
kind
thing
of
with the pre-release. They pre-release only applies to people like me and you.
right,
Mainstream artists are going to get picked up whether they release it or not.
right,
They don't got to pre-release it. Like you said, they could just record it, put it out overnight, like Drake did with his album. And I think that's another thing that enough artists don't do is the overnight,
right.
because that really can gauge on how loyal your fan base really is. When they wipe out the eye boogers, wake up overnight and be like, "Oh damn, King Bishop just dropped the album. We gotta
Hmm.
go run and go check it out." You know what I'm saying?
Right, and that's true too. I feel the same way. Um, because it's writing. Because what's the first thing you do when you get up? A lot of people say, "Well, I meditate, eat a bagel." No, you roll over and you pick your phone up and you get
They
on
do.
social media.
I do. I don't even keep my phone in my face no time during the day. But when I wake up in the morning, that's the first thing I do. I'll post my
Uh-huh.
TikTok post, check if I need to post that story post. I always
Yeah.
try to post my early morning post, and then I might throw on some TV and then jump in the shower. But yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
Then start
Everybody's
the
going
day.
straight to the social media, going
Right.
to the Facebook and everything, man.
Because you go to sleep knowing that you're gonna wake up to notifications. That's a I don't know if it's like a confident booster for people, but when you wake up to notifications, people are happy. People are happy
Yeah,
about that. You know what I'm saying? So that's why you're gonna when you wake up, you roll over. First thing you do, check your phone. Who care about me today? You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And while you scrolling, I'm gonna throw this little ad in there. Check out,
yeah.
my music. You know what I'm saying? These big artists are all through there. You don't even follow Ti, but you're getting posts from Ti because he dropped a new album and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
And the algorithms kicked in, and now it's on your
hmm
timeline and everything.
And it was while you was asleep. That's what they did. While you was asleep, they did all of that just so it could be right in your face first thing in the morning.
All right, before we go, you want to let everybody know where they can follow you at on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram, or whatever it may be that you use?
Definitely follow me. For my music, my Instagram is Bishop underscore 336.
And we're going to throw in the descriptions as well.
Thank you. It's Bishop underscore 336 on Instagram and Bishop underscore 336 on Twitter. I have a Facebook, but that's more for personal use.
You don't have a fan
So
page yet?
not yet, not on Facebook yet. I
Okay.
do have one, but it's just under construction, and I
Okay.
kind of want to get everything out there. Make my bio what my bio needs to be and stuff like that. I am a little late on the Facebook game with my music page, but my Instagram is definitely where all of my stuff is, which is like I
Okay.
said, Bishop underscore 336.
You on TikTok at all?
I am not on TikTok
I'm
yet.
telling you, man, as a music promoter, I've been in here since the MySpace days. Ain't people can say what they want about China, spying, gathering information. I mean, they all gather information. Google, Twitter, Facebook,
Right, right.
but TikTok, man. I mean, I ain't seen nothing like it. It's the first platform that you can't bot every aspect of it.
True.
So that says a lot. You can buy every aspect of Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, but you can't bot no dance challenges.
No, that's a fact. And
You can't, it just doesn't work that way, So TikTok, definitely I would recommend getting a little bit more on it, mess with it a little bit. And a lot of people think it's a little kiddie, but it's for music,
is where
it's
it's at.
TikTok and YouTube. TikTok and YouTube, man.
And that's what I'm doing. I'm just right now. I'm in, what I call, the lab. I'm in the lab. I'm plotting. You know what I mean? Plotting my takeover with all of this stuff. So definitely TikTok is one of those things I'm looking at to start putting content on and start maybe throwing challenges out there and stuff like that, because that's the thing nowadays. The challenges and stuff,
The
like
short content. Yeah. And same thing with the YouTube shorts. If you actually post your YouTube shorts over the videos, the YouTube shorts getting traffic like that, because I mean, that's the thing. Some people do it a 5-second video and somebody watches the whole 5 seconds. So the algorithms kick in just like crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And whatnot.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I'm definitely on it. Just getting better. You know what I'm saying? So it should be fun, man. This journey is definitely gonna be, fun for me. I love doing music, man. I love it so much.
All right, well, I'm about to get out of here. I'm about to outro your music video for everybody and whatnot, and make sure you email me those all those social media links so I can add them in the description.
Oh, definitely, man. And look, man, I appreciate you having me, man, and taking the time out, man. It was dope. It was a dope experience for me.
And whenever you drop the EP or the mixtape or whatever, if you want to try to come back on, we can make it happen.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. We definitely gonna work.
All right, appreciate you coming on.
Hey, man, I appreciate it, man.
All right, peace. All right, you heard an interview with King Bishop, Winston Salem, artist, and we about to play the video right now.
Yeah. King. Cobra. Yeah. I'ma talk my shit on this one. I'm in the studio with Jay. Jay, they gonna have to check me out on this one. Mean, nigga. I just wanna bring my stick in the park. party, get lit in the party if you with it. Holla at me. I just wanna blow weed in the party, smoke green in the party if you got it. Holla at me. I just wanna bring my stick in the party, get lit in the party if you with it. Holla at me. I just wanna blow weed in the party, smoke green in the party if you got it. Holla at me. I got my stick in the fifth and we can get shit shifty. I walk him down, he a clown. I brung the show with me, blow with me. You don't wanna go toe to toe with me, go with me. Oh shit, he ain't froze, is he? Cause I got tools in the trunk, I brung the load with me. You thinking you cool as fuck until he goes swimming. Throw a fuck nigga overboard, you couldn't grow with me. Ain't can't nobody shed his fucking throne with me. I brung a milli with me and I'm about to cash out. I ain't heard real bars since the last drop. Why you pussy scared to go? I'm on that route. The same stick I'm finna kill you with, I'm on that cloud. I just wanna bring my stick in the party, get lit in the party if you with it. Holla at me. I just wanna blow weed in the party, smoke green in the party if you got it. Holla at me. I just wanna bring my stick in the party, get lit in the party if you with it. Holla at me. I just wanna blow weed in the party, smoke green in the party if you got it. Holla at me. You friends with robbers and crooks, and why you poppin' zannies? Never miss hitting the field, the Glocky come in handy, finna panic. You ever seen a chopper do some damage? Niggas steppin', I ain't gotta shoot cause they shoot why I tell them. You must be out of your mind, jumped out your cerebellum. He ain't even have to go out, why ain't nobody tell him? Fact is, I'm still the king of this rap shit. East side to the world, I'm in that wind. Got a fly little chick, I make her back bend. Throwing money, catching plays while you laughing.